What's up everybody, Emperor John Kyo 3D Gaming here, and this is a follow-up to my Mortal Kombat 1 review. I did say that I was going to talk about Invasion Mode in a separate video. Now, let's just get straight into it. What is Invasion Mode? Invasion Mode is almost a RPG Conquest mini-style Living Towers mode, or Challenge Towers if you will. It takes the towers concept from the previous NetherRealm Mortal Kombat games, going from Mortal Kombat 9 to MKX to MK11. But except this time around, you actually go on like a little pseudo-adventure, and by my understanding this is seasonal, where you will go through different realms or different levels within the realms, fight different variations of characters on the roster who have different strengths and weaknesses, and you will level up your particular fighter and your particular cameo character until you get to the said boss of said invasion. Now, for example, this current season is based on Scorpion, so you will pick somebody from the roster who that you feel is best to go on this journey with, basically leveling them up as they go along. Now you can go back and play this invasion mode at any point to just level up these characters, go back and do the other battles to level them up and to get different gear or different what was it? It was literally just the tip of my tongue too. Different gear and different items. There you go. Different said items to help you on the journey. If you remember in the other Mortal Kombat games, you would always get different items to activate during a fight, like a modifier, so to speak. So there will always be a modifier in each one of these fights, some playing into your favor, some plays into the favor of the enemy, or you can have a modifier that can defend you from said effect of the map. Sometimes the ground will catch fire, and etc. But you also will gain level up stats. Every time you level up, you can have auto stats or choose to apply them. And the same goes for your cameo character. They will level up as well, making their attacks stronger and also giving different appearances and attack styles for them. They can do different attacks based with you and integrated into the combat, which is actually a really cool thing. Like I said, I was one of the people that was nervous about the cameos, but it's the best of what they used to do in the original, what was it? Marvel vs. Capcom, where it was just two solo characters in a fight. But this time in Mortal Kombat, it's just still one-on-one combat with a bonus character to come in. Then you can take different talismans, such as different elemental effects, to use on your enemy, have them rechargeable, and taking different relics, finding different keys and different components to get you through certain locked doors, chests, and finding a way to upgrade said talisman. Now, there is a place in here called the Gateway Portal, where you can go to. There's a store in there. Even though there's stores littered throughout the maps, there's also stores in the Forge. Here, this is where you will find the different challenge towers individually. You'll go to this Gateway Portal realm and you'll have your weekly towers, your daily towers, your hourly towers, things of that nature to help you get the stuff that you want quicker. If you want to get different gear quicker, or if you want to get your coins up quicker, if you want to get the different components to help level you up quicker, this is where you will spend to level up your character to farm, because the max level you can get to with any character in this said mode of invasion is level 30. But sometimes there will be enemies that are up to 31 and 32. That's where it comes in a combination of not only your stats and what gear you have equipped, not gear that affects your stats, but items to help you in battle will also come into play. See, unlike MK11, there's no gear stats. Like, all gear is solely cosmetic. Everything is going to come via consumable items or how strong you made your character. And also the skills you gain, such as you practicing with the character, making them stronger, learning the ins and outs of your character to meet the challenge ahead. And don't get me wrong, the challenge gets there between getting to the later realms, because it will start off very simple. There's actually one set of footage I couldn't record, which is only a tutorial level, which is Johnny Cage's mansion, but everywhere else it'll open up to 9 different places you can go to, and I wonder if these are going to alternate every season. At least this one is based within the game that you know, and you can also go back to the places you've been to unlock regional areas that you have not been to with even harder challenges and harder enemies. That's actually what I'm currently doing right now. I wanted to make this video after I beat the main consensus of the invasion mode, because every invasion mode has almost a mini story on its own, with this one being based on Scorpion, the vengeful Scorpion, coming into this era of Mortal Kombat and unleashing his fury. So at least by my understanding, they're going to tie this invasion mode, this almost challenge towers like setting, with a little story behind it, and you know, it'll motivate you to keep going. It's actually a really fun mode that you can just roam around, not freely, you roam around on a set path, but then there's different ambushes that happen to you, secret fights that happen to you. The best comparison I can give it, this reminds me, and will probably remind a lot of you, of Dragon Ball Raging Blasters 2 Galaxy Mode. When I went into this, I immediately felt that I'm like, wow, this reminds me a lot like Galaxy Mode, but with a Mortal Kombat take. You know, you can go through these different levels finding chests, which also help you out. Also give you different gears. You can go back, get different keys, or purchase keys to open them. You find the traditional test your might. This, of course, what do you think it is? Build up the meter and destroy the item at hand with how much might you have. Then, you will find different challenge ladders that will open up in a set realm. You'll find maybe a tower of 3 or a tower of 4 with increasing difficulty, along with a test your might in there. Then, you take all these, everything you've learned and everything you've gained in this first experience of the mode, you will go through to make sure that you're powerful enough, because there's what is called the sub bosses and then the main boss. Now the sub bosses have a skull icon with horns on it, which you would have to go through, fight them 3 times in a row at increased difficulty, and they do something in said fight. What do I mean by that? They'll have a set of armor, something you'd have to survive, or they can throw projectiles at you that you have to basically survive until the enemy is vulnerable to attack. Certain enemies will have higher, stronger armor stats, which also can be unlocked by you. If you find said item, you can become invincible for those said battles. Now, that item is not dished out often. Sometimes you have to keep going either to the shop or find a way to unlock it, because that is a key item that can help you being able to fight the effects that the certain enemy will have. A certain enemy can hit you with blood attacks. A certain enemy can hit you with fire attacks, dark attacks, ice attacks, anything of the sort. And it could also benefit said type of the character. Here's an example. If you're playing a character such as, I want to say, Natara or Sub-Zero. If Nitara has a blood modifier, all her blood attacks will be heavily increased, and she will unleash more based attacks upon you. Some attacks that are not even in her arsenal. That's what not really will kill me in a bad way. It kills me with challenge, because if you think about it, you master a character. Like I've mastered Smoke. I know all his moves inside and out. But then the AI is doing moves that are not even on the character's main list, which is supposed to affect that they are a variant in said mode, because you're fighting variants of characters from the main roster, and you're fighting alternate versions of them, so they're not all going to fight the same. Similar attacks, but the way they dish them out is heavily different. Same with like Sub-Zero. He'll get ice modifiers or something that will affect his cameo support character. You always need to equip something that could be ready for the challenge at hand that could make the fights a lot harder. Now, don't get me wrong, if you're very skilled enough, you can do it without it. That's always an option for the hardcore Mortal Kombat fighter. But for somebody who's trying to level up their character and get an understanding and treat this like an RPG type mode or a mini little RPG concept, take the right gear with you and you'll win the day. And certain enemies' lives can go down slower. Some enemies could be strong in health, strong in attack. They all have different stats. Even though you can't see the stats, you can feel the stats in the fight. But you can also feel the power and level that went into your character. Because in the very beginning, you're not going to feel it as much, but if you try to take on something that's a higher level than you, and you attempt it, you would really have to fight hard to be able to conquer it. But if you're leveled up pretty high, and if you reach the max before you even get to the final stage of the invasion, you will be able to conquer the day. You know, I waited. I went and took my time with invasion mode, going through all the fights, and now going back and going through the secret fights, which also can complement your character if you get the right pieces of equipment that you need, such as more talismans and more consumables in a match. My favorite consumable is one that gives me instant blocking and instant armor. The instant blocking, basically you won't need to hold the block button. The game will block every attack for you, allowing you to chain your combos and keep going, which is good against the Titan fighters. I know that's the terminology people don't like to want to hear the word Titan because of the last game, but that's how I can describe them. They're more like high-level boss variations of the characters on the roster, hence the name Titan versions. There is something, by my understanding, coming soon called Titan Battles. I don't know how that is to be true, but I've seen some tweets about it. So maybe I am using the terminology correctly, but I'm using it because it makes more sense for me to use it. But this mode will keep you busy, and I actually found myself playing this more than the regular ladder mode, than even wanting to play online or going back and doing each fighter and that Armageddon chapter of the main story. This is one of the most unique modes that I have played in a while for Mortal Kombat. You know, it falls in line with kart combat, chess combat, puzzle combat, except it's more tied around giving you a purpose to keep playing and to keep going. Now, how will it go in the future as the seasons progress and how each season is changed depending on the bosses? That's for you to decide if you enjoyed the mode or not. Anyway, that's all I gotta say. This is Emperor John Kyo 3D Gaming. Be sure to like, subscribe, favorite. I'll see you on the next video or in the next live stream. I hope you all have a good night and take care. See you all later.